Title: The Forest Cradle ****. An ancient tale of love and survival, circa 1850, ***. In the deep heart of the Elanri forest, where the trees stood tall like ancient guards and the wind sang in forgotten tongues, lived a man named Habilis and his wife, Nike. The year was around 1852, a time when men still lived close to the earth, listening to her heartbeat beneath their feet. Habilis was a hunter, a man molded by the wild. His hands were calloused by years of pulling bowstrings and setting traps, and his eyes had grown sharp from tracking the smallest signs of movement in the woods. Yet for all his strength and courage, nothing made his heart beat faster than the sight of Nike, his wife of 2 seasons, who now carried their first child beneath her heart. Their home was a hut of woven reeds and clay, tucked beneath the ancient iroko tree. Smoke from the cooking fire drifted through the small cracks of their roof, mingling with the scent of damp leaves. Life was simple, though not easy. But in their simplicity, they had joy rooted in love, in togetherness, and in hope. That morning, the sun had not yet risen. A thin mist floated like a white blanket above the forest floor. Birds had not begun their songs, and all that could be heard was the soft breathing of Nike as she slept. Her belly, round and full of promise, rose and fell gently with each breath. Habilis woke quietly, as was his habit. He watched her for a while, lying there with her hand resting over the curve of her stomach. Her face glowed faintly in the dim light from the dying embers of last night's fire. He smiled, a soft, wistful smile. He brushed a strand of hair from her face and whispered, "My heart, rest well. I will bring you meat today." He knew she had been craving roasted bushmeat for days now. The pregnancy had changed her appetite. Sometimes she wanted sour fruits in the middle of the night, other times she longed for meat cooked with wild herbs. And though the forest had become dangerous lately, with tales of roaming leopards and wandering spirits, Habilis could not bear to see his wife's eyes clouded with hunger. He picked up his bow and quiver, slung his hunting bag over his shoulder, and stepped out into the pale dawn. The forest was still. The mist coiled between the trees like smoke. Habilis moved quietly, his bare feet knowing every route and every turn of the narrow paths. He had hunted these woods since boyhood. But that morning, something felt different, almost sacred. As he walked deeper, he thought of Nike. He remembered the day she first came to him from her father's compound. She had been shy, her laughter like the tinkling of water over stones. When she told him she was carrying his child, he had knelt before her and placed both hands on her belly, whispering a silent prayer that the child would inherit her kindness and his strength. Now, as he searched for food for her, his thoughts were filled not just with survival but with purpose. For the first time, he was not hunting for himself, he was hunting for them. Hours passed before he found the trail of a wild antelope. He crouched low, eyes narrowing as he traced the faint hoofprints through the mud. The forest began to wake around him, the chatter of monkeys above, the cry of distant birds, and the rhythmic dripping of dew from the leaves. He followed the trail until he reached a small clearing bathed in golden morning light. There, the antelope grazed, unaware of his presence. Habilis pulled an arrow from his quiver, aimed steadily, and released. The arrow flew straight and true, striking the creature cleanly. The forest echoed with the cry of the animal, then fell silent again. He whispered a prayer of thanks. He never killed without honoring the life taken. As he bent to lift the animal, a low growl rumbled behind him. His blood froze. From the shadows emerged a leopard, eyes glinting like fire. It must have been tracking the same prey. The beast crouched, muscles rippling beneath its spotted coat. Habilis stepped backward slowly, his heart hammering. He knew he could not outrun it. His wife's face flashed before his eyes, Nike, alone in their hut, waiting for him to return. He could not die now. The leopard sprang. In one swift motion, Habilis rolled aside, snatching his spear from his bag. The beast landed where he had been standing and turned immediately. The man and the leopard faced each other, locked in a battle for survival. It lunged again. He thrust the spear forward. The point found its mark, but not deep enough. Back in the hut, Nike stirred. She had been dreaming of a dark forest and the cry of a beast. Her heart pounded with fear. She rose slowly, holding her belly, and stepped outside. The morning had grown bright. Sunlight danced on the leaves, and the air was thick with the scent of rain. She sat by the fire, murmuring a quiet prayer for her husband's safety. It was almost noon when she saw him emerging from the path, limping slightly but alive. Her heart leapt with joy. "Habilis," she cried, rushing to meet him. He dropped the antelope to the ground and smiled weakly. "The forest tested me," he said, "but love brought me home." She saw the blood on his arm and gasped. "You are hurt." He chuckled softly. "It is nothing. The beast that gave me this wound lies in the forest now. And you, my heart, will have your meat." Tears filled her eyes as she touched his face. "You risked your life for me and the child," she whispered. He took her hand and placed it over his heart. What is a husband if he cannot protect the life he helped create? You are carrying my world, more Nike. As long as I breathe, neither hunger nor danger will reach you. That night, after she had cleaned his wound and roasted the antelope with herbs, they sat by the fire together. The flames cast golden light across their faces. She fed him first, insisting that he eat to regain strength. Then he gently fed her in return, smiling as she ate with the appetite of two souls. Outside, the forest sang its night songs, the rustle of leaves, the hum of insects, the distant cry of an owl. More Nike leaned her head on his shoulder. When our child is born, she said softly, I will tell them how brave their father was, how he fought a leopard for us. Habilis smiled, kissing her forehead. And I will tell them how strong their mother was, strong enough to carry both love and life within her. They sat in silence for a while, listening to the heartbeat of the night. The fire crackled. The baby stirred within her, and both of them felt it. Habilis placed his hand on her belly. He feels my touch, he said with wonder. Or she, more Nike teased. They laughed quietly together. For that moment, all was perfect, the pain forgotten, the danger behind them. Only love remained, glowing brighter than the fire before them. In the days that followed, Habilis' wound healed. The antelope meat lasted many days, and soon, their hut was filled with laughter and songs as more Nike prepared for childbirth. When the time came, under the light of a full moon, the cries of new life echoed through the Australopithecus forest. A son was born, strong and healthy. Habilis held the tiny child in his arms, tears glistening in his eyes. He looked at more Nike, exhausted but smiling, and whispered, You are the true hunter, my love. You have brought life where I could only bring food. And so, in that small hut beneath the Irako tree, love triumphed once again, stronger than the wild, deeper than fear, and purer than